good people, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Those of you who are new subscribers to this channel, welcome to our community. As always, I hope that I share something that empowers you to continue soaring above the fray. Today I want to talk about how narcissists will always expose themselves. Always. It never fails. I know many of you are wondering, why does it seem like he or she is just getting away with close to murder? But they're not. Everything that they've done to someone, their karma is built in. They're always running and hiding and ducking and dodging their payback. And so they live miserably within. Most of them cannot sleep well. In fact, I don't know any who sleeps well, but they can't sleep well. They're up in the middle of the night like night crawlers. I mean, they're doing so much dirt, so much lying. They know that eventually this is going to come back on them in some way. And so that is a very unsettled, miserable way to live. I don't care what pictures show you. It's all an illusion. You guys, you've got to stop buying into the illusion. It's not real. It was an illusion with you. It was an illusion with the person before. And it's, one right now. And when it comes to business partnerships and co-workers that seem like they're getting on and moving up the ladder quickly, they are cheating their way. They're still doing the same old lying and conniving things that they were doing to you. So please understand this about the karma. It is built in. They serve it for their entire lives. They end up alone. They end up chasing everyone away. Most people don't even like being around them. This is why most narcs don't really have real friends that they hang out with. They might go to visit someone every once in a while when people can tolerate them, but usually they cannot keep their composure. They expose themselves and people can just feel some kind of way about being around them and they don't like it. So they keep their distance until they feel like they can tolerate them. So now exposing themselves, they always expose themselves. You guys are wondering why other people can't see what you can see. But don't forget, there was a time when you were unwilling to see it as well. And you were closer to them than most outsiders. So with you being close to them and justifying their behavior, well, that's what other people are doing. Or the people who are not as close to them are just, again, giving themselves space when the narc exposes themselves, goes into their rage or whatever. They really don't keep their composure well. They always say something, do something to tell on themselves. And if people are not connected with them closely, they just write it off as a bad day or somebody who needs, some prayer or, just some space or whatever. So this is what's happening when you're seeing that. But you remember the times, especially in the beginning, the narcissist in the very beginning of a relationship exposes themselves. At the beginning of talking to you, they devalue you because they have to test you to see if there's a chance they can get away with something or not. And usually stronger people, when you're mentally stronger or more aware, let's say that, because you can be mentally strong but just not aware of narcissistic abuse. So if you're someone who's aware and mentally strong, then the narcissist will most likely ghost you after the first one or two conversations. So that wouldn't even move anywhere. They need people who do not know who they are, what they're about. And so they will say little things. I've heard people say that in the beginning, the narcissist said, I'm not going to be good for you, or told them, my ex told me about all the people he had slept with while he was married. For whatever reason, I thought it was okay, although I've never cheated and I had, I don't condone that behavior. I was like, well, maybe, the situation was so bad because of the ex that he ended up that way. I'm justifying that he told me in the beginning. Not only that, on the second day, he called me stupid And so, all of those little things are tests to see if you're going to justify their behavior and if they should move forward. So they expose themselves. Most people are unwilling, or they say, maybe the narcissist does it in a way so that people can start to think, well, maybe I'm taking things too seriously because they're looking around and no one else seems to be feeling some kind of way, or at least expressing that. And so the narcissist gets away with it and their behavior is once again justified. But they do expose themselves. And a mentally healthy and aware person will not tolerate being around them at all. And this is why they don't have friends. They don't. The people you think that they're friends with, they're not. They just those are props. Everyone plays a part. Another thing my ex told me is that I'm not patient enough with him. I don't understand why he keeps certain relationships, because it is necessary for him to compartmentalize everyone in his life. He said that, and we all know. He told me that. So there you go, the exposure. I'm telling you that there is a place, a slot for you too, Tanya, and you need to get there. And this is where everyone is at. They need to stay in their compartments, and when they come out, he rages at them. So they're not different. They will expose themselves. It just depends on the person on the receiving end of whether or not they want to put up with the bull and continue to deal with it. Some of you dealt with it for a number of years, justifying, trying to figure out what was going on. And so it's no different. What you're seeing is no different. They are exposing themselves. And a lot of times people were a part of the flying monkey crew that came after you. And so when this narc is showing them who he or she is, they don't want to accept it because now they feel like a donkey. They've come after you to try and tell you that this person is not that way, something's wrong with you. They jumped on that whole bandwagon because they didn't like you in the first place, and they're probably high up on the scale for narcissism themselves. But regardless, these people now, they have to deal with this thing that they've allowed to get away with everything, and they've allowed to use them, and that's embarrassing. People don't want to admit that they were wrong about that person. So it doesn't matter how they're reacting. Your experience with that creature was real. It was terrible. You don't deserve that. Don't fight with them. Don't react. Don't give them the things that they want so that they can make you look like who they really are. You're better than that. You deserve so much more. Give yourself that. And when you're giving yourself that, someone good, a better business partner or something like that will come along. Oh. Or, a better person to date or a better friend. And so really, you're not losing anything by letting that narc go. You're losing nothing. They are a zero. You're the hero. They have no value whatsoever. They brought nothing to your life. They left you in emotional debt. So take yourself and go and replenish yourself by surrounding yourself with people who care about you. They will expose themselves. They will not live a happy life, and they will die the miserable person that they are. It happens over and over and over again. I encourage you, I'm going to drop Pink Girl Teaches link below where she talks about what happens during death, what she's noticed with narcissistic people and how they die. It was very interesting to me. And of course, in my heart of hearts and in your heart of hearts, we don't want that for them. We really want to look up one day and see that person completely changed, having committed their lives to helping other people, free other people from the demonic overtake of their lives. But in reality, it really doesn't happen. There's no documented story where this has happened. Nowhere. And so the video what Pink Girl teaches, she really goes into what happens in the last minutes, because this is what she actually does for a living. And she's there when they're entering the door of their eternity. So take care of yourselves, take care of the people who love you, and have a fantastic weekend.